Hello. I am Zakiya Monique, Master Relationship Strategist, and welcome to another edition of Moments with Mo. I'm excited about Moments with Mo. I love it because it gives me the opportunity to talk about one topic briefly that's really on my heart. And today I want to talk about the difference between cost and value in relationships. Cost and value in relationships. I want us first of all to understand and agree that there is a huge difference between cost and value in a relationship. Okay. Cost is what we pay for something, value is what it's worth. Okay. Cost is what we pay for something, value is what it's worth. One of the biggest mistakes that we make in relationships is in thinking that cost and value are the same and in thinking that we have the power to set and control both. Okay. So I want to tell you a little bit of a story real quick. So I was not really in the market for a new car. My miles, I had a lease vehicle and my miles were a little high, and Chevy was having a sale. And so I said, you know what, this was some years back and I was driving an Impala at the time. And so I said, let me just go see what they have. And how many of us know that if you are able to get a new car, going to see what they have is probably not the best thing to do. Okay. It's not the best thing to do. Anyway, long story short, I went into the dealership, hadn't cleaned out my car or anything, so I had no intentions of getting a car. And so when I got there, I told her what I wanted. I really wanted the Trailblazer. That's what I liked at the time. And so I wanted the Trailblazer, but I was like, let me see what you're talking about. And so she said, oh, this is $30,000. And I was just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to pay that. I don't know. And she said, but we have some incentives. And those incentives will allow me to give you up to $10,000 off. What? I said up to $10,000. Oh, let's talk about that because a Trailblazer walking out of the door for 20 grand. Yeah, let's talk about that, sis. Why? Because $10,000 off of that Trailblazer was a significant dip. And guess what? I went outside and cleaned out my car, left that car there and got that Trailblazer and rode off that day. Why? Because the cost of that car came down. So I saw a value in paying that cost. Now let's bring this down to relationships. We meet somebody, we give them the cost of being in a relationship with us, or we meet somebody and we give them the cost of doing business with us. What happens when they say no? Three things. Number one, we second guess our value because one person wouldn't pay the cost. So one person wouldn't pay the cost. You said, in order to be in a relationship with me, this is the stuff you got to do. And one person said, no, I'm straight. So all of a sudden you did what I call a cost analysis. You went all the way back to the drawing board. Nope. It must not be right, or whatever. Now, there's nothing wrong with you going back to the drawing board and taking care of yourself and making sure that you're good, and making sure that you actually have your ducks in a row, but not because one person didn't pay. Okay, not because one person didn't pay. Or number two, we will lower the cost because we're emotionally attached to them or we don't want to be alone. And so the next thing we know, I call that discounting. We'll discount our price. We'll say, okay, I know I said this, but we could work it out. Or number three, we will attempt to prove the value. So we set the cost and then all of a sudden we want to prove the value to the person and let them know, hey. So this is why you should pay this cost. And we start to prove our love. We prove our love. And I call that a benefits assessment. How many people have been friends with benefits? Okay. Here's the thing. You determine the cost, but the other party determines how valuable you are to them, which determines whether they're going to pay that cost or not. It's not your choice. It's theirs. And notice how I said that the other party determines how valuable you are to them, not how valuable you are, period. Okay. If you leave with nothing else from this video, I want you to understand this. You cannot pay your way into an increased value. You cannot struggle love your way into an increased value. You cannot sex your way into an increased value. You cannot cook your way into an increased value. You can't trap your way into an increased value. You can't lie your way into an increased value. You can't cry your way into an increased value. Why? First of all, what you use your energy to get, you're going to use your energy to keep. And let me tell you, manufactured love, manufactured relationships are hard. Most of the people that are out here talking about love hurts all the time and things are hard, those people created their own storms. Let's just keep it all the way real. Manufactured love is exhausting because what you use your energy to get, you have to use your energy to keep. So that means that you have to keep on lying. You have to keep on crying. You have to keep on cooking. You have to keep on sexing. You have to keep on doing all that stuff that you use to get this relationship on your own because they never saw your value in the first place. They saw the value in the thing you offered, not in you. The second reason why you can't use those things to get the relationship or to get the person to see your value is because value is not impacted solely on your actions or by your actions. Usually, value is determined by something that happened in another part of their life. So it's something that happened in the foundation of their life. It's heavily impacted by past experiences. So I'll give you an example. What he determines as a good woman is usually what he's seen. It's based on what he's seen. Had nothing to do with who you are per se. It has everything to do with what he feels like you should be. And if he does not see the value in you, it does not matter if you cook, clean, wash, iron, do everything. If that's not what he considers valuable for his life, he'll miss it. He won't see it. Okay, we are shaped by our foundations until we're exposed to something different. And that's just the reality of it all. And the third reason that you cannot try to get your way into these relationships and make them and sex them and cook and all that type of stuff is because if those things temporarily sway his decision, it won't last long. Sure, the money is good, but after a while, he gets his own money. The food is good, but after a while, you get tired of chicken. The sex is good, but after a while, you the same old crackers. As my brother-in-law used to say, them the same old crackers. He fell for the crime, but now he tired of pitying you. Sure, you let him do whatever he want to do because you want to show him you were a down chick, but guess what? After a while, he wants somebody with some standards. It's not enough to keep him. It's not enough to keep him. And when something is valuable enough, we take care of it. It does not have to take care of us. We take care of it. We respect it. We're grateful for it. We keep it clean. We keep it together. We keep it in a safe place. I've never seen so many guys that are willing to risk the ones that they say they love. Do you know that many women are locked up right now for carrying drugs for a dude, for doing all kinds of stuff, fraud for a dude, but yet you say you love her? No. You can't love her or value her because you keep the valuable things are kept in a safe place. Valuable things are kept. They're kept in a safe place. You don't put your diamonds and all of your great things on the front porch and close your door. No. But when we don't value something, we want to ask for a discount. We want to ask for a hookup. We want to make, let me see your cost analysis. We want to test drive it. We want to bargain. We want to negotiate, and we'll pay a lower price. Or we'll go pay somebody else's price. But let me say this to you. When it comes to test driving and all of the negotiating, that stuff gets old. And after a while, even the dealership say you need to make a decision. The dealership say you can take the car on home overnight, but if you don't bring that car home after a while, they report it stolen because listen, you can't keep test driving. You just can't keep test driving. You can't keep test driving. At some point, you got to make a decision. So you can't keep letting them test drive. You can't keep letting them bargain. You can't keep letting them negotiate. You can't keep doing cost analysis. At some point, you have to step back and say, okay, no deal. And you have to be okay with who walks away. You have to be okay with who walks away. Let's be real now. We can't control whether they see our value. We just have to continue to be valuable. But we can't control if they don't see our value. We got to let them go. Another thing is we have to be real and honest with ourselves when we're setting these costs. Okay. Now, I worked at the airport, and guess what happened? When we wanted to launch something or do something, we would call the other airports to see what they were doing. They call that benchmarking. And so at the end of the day, when you're doing a benchmarking in your relationships, I'm not asking you to call other women. What I'm asking you to do is, can you match what you're asking for? Because see, it's okay if you got 9, 10 kids and you say, I don't want nobody with no kids. That's okay for you to feel that way. But the realism of it is that you might have to deal with somebody with some kids because you got kids. So I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I'm saying we got to be realistic about some of these goals and standards that we have for ourselves, because we don't want to take nothing. We don't want to half step on nothing. We want the best. But the question is, are you the best you? Are you the best you that you can be? So we got to be realistic. Okay. We got to be realistic in what we're asking for. So I hope this has been helpful. If so, tell a friend. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. But again, if nobody is willing to pay your costs, then yeah, you need to go back and do a cost analysis because everybody can't be wrong. But if one person won't pay your costs, you don't have to always go back to the drawing board because maybe it was just that person not able to see your value. It doesn't mean that you're not valuable. I love you so very much, and I hope you have a great day. You already know how, on purpose. God bless you.